Picture two neighbors. They live in the same city, same zip code, same general neighborhood. They earn similar incomes. Their kids go to the same school. From the outside, their lives look almost identical. One of them bought their home in 2021 at a 3.1% mortgage rate. Their monthly payment is $1,480. It hasn't changed since the day they signed. Every month, a portion of that payment chips away at their loan balance. Over the past 5 years, their home has appreciated roughly 50%. Their net worth quietly climbed by $200,000 without them lifting a finger. The other one rents. Their apartment was $1,650 a month in 2021. It's $2,100 now. Their landlord raised it again this spring. They have no equity, no asset appreciating in their name. Every dollar they've paid in rent, over $100,000 in 5 years, is completely gone. And they can't buy that same neighbor's house because at today's mortgage rates, the monthly payment on it would be $2,900. Same city, same income, completely different financial trajectories, and the gap is getting wider every single month. My name is Eric, and I spend way too much time thinking about money, housing economics, and how the same market can simultaneously punish one group of Americans while quietly enriching another. If you're renting right now and wondering why you feel like you're falling further behind despite working just as hard, subscribe and give this a thumbs up, because today we're putting real numbers to exactly what's happening. Let's start with the numbers, because the data here is more striking than most people realize. From 2001 to 2024, renter incomes rose by just 9% in real terms. Rents rose by 30% over the same period. That's a 21 percentage point gap between income growth and rent growth sustained over more than 2 decades. The result? Lower income renters' residual income, the money left after paying rent, has fallen 60% since 2001 to a record low of just $210 per month. $210 a month left over for food, transportation, healthcare, and everything else after rent. The number of cost-burdened renter households, those spending more than 30% of income on housing, hit a record high of 22.7 million in 2024. That's 49% of all renter households, and 12.1 million renters, 26%, spend more than half their income on rent and utilities, making them severely burdened. Meanwhile, on the other side of the ledger, U.S. homeowners hold a record $17.8 trillion in total home equity as of Q3 2025. The average mortgage-holding homeowner has approximately $299,000 in equity, and the Federal Reserve Survey of Consumer Finances reveals the starkest single number in this entire conversation. The median homeowner's net worth is $430,000 versus just $10,000 for renters, a 43-to-1 ratio. 43-to-1. Same country, same economy, two completely different financial realities, determined largely by one decision, or one opportunity, made years ago. Here's where this video needs to address the thing everyone says when this topic comes up. If renting is so bad, why don't they just buy? Let's do the actual math, because the answer isn't they're lazy or they're bad with money. The answer is that the math for first-time buyers in 2026 is genuinely brutal in a way that has no historical precedent. The all-in monthly cost of homeownership on a median-priced home runs $3,000 or more right now. The national median rent is around $1,450 for a 2-bedroom. That's a $1,550 monthly gap, nearly $18,600 a year between renting and buying the same category of home. At 6.44% mortgage rates, which is where they sit today, a $400,000 home with a 10% down payment produces a monthly mortgage payment alone of around $2,550. Add property taxes at roughly $400, insurance at $200, and maintenance at $333, and you're at $3,483 a month before a single utility bill. Now here's the down payment problem. That 10% down payment on a $400,000 home is $40,000. A $79,000 down payment on a median-priced home invested in equities could grow to over $228,000 in a decade. And Goldman Sachs now estimates that a young married couple needs 70% of their annual household income just to afford the average down payment.
70% of one full year's income before they spend a single dollar on anything else just to get to the starting line. Meanwhile, homeowners' monthly costs remained nearly unchanged over the 2020 to 2024 period, while renters paid $100 more per month, rising to a median of $1,413. The locked-in homeowner is paying the same amount they paid 4 years ago. The renter is paying more every single year on a clock they can't stop. This is the trap. Renting is increasingly unaffordable. Buying is even more unaffordable. And the gap between the two keeps widening, while the average renter savings rate makes it nearly impossible to accumulate the down payment needed to escape.
Let's make this concrete with two households we'll put side by side. Not abstractions, but real budget breakdowns. Both households are in a mid-sized American metro. Both earn $72,000 a year, which puts them just below the median household income. Both have 2 adults, no kids yet. Household A, the Millers, they bought in 2021. They locked in a 30-year mortgage at 3.1% on a $310,000 home with 5% down. Monthly mortgage payment, $1,260. Property taxes and insurance, $430. Maintenance reserve, $260. Total housing cost, $1,950 a month. Their take-home pay after taxes is roughly $4,800. Housing takes 40% of take-home. Not comfortable, but manageable.
Since 2021, their home has appreciated to approximately $400,000. They've built roughly $90,000 in equity through appreciation plus 5 years of mortgage payments. Their net worth related to housing alone, $90,000 and growing. Household B, the Clarks. They rent. They were renting a 2-bedroom apartment for $1,650 in 2021. Their rent is now $2,100. Their lease renews in 3 months. Their landlord has already told them it's going up again, probably to $2,250. Total housing cost, $2,100, heading to $2,250. Same take home of $4,800. Housing now takes 44% of take home and rising. Net worth related to housing, $0. Every dollar they've paid in rent over 5 years, roughly $115,000, has built equity for exactly one person, and it isn't them.
Here's the number that really lands. Renters are 178.7% more likely than homeowners to be behind on housing payments. Not slightly more likely, nearly 3 times as likely, because rents reset upward relentlessly, while mortgage payments on locked-rate loans do not. The Clarks earn the same money as the Millers. They work just as hard. The only financial difference between them is that the Millers got into a house before rates doubled, and the Clarks didn't. That timing gap is now producing a net worth divergence that compounds every single year. Here's the part that makes this genuinely systemic, rather than just individually unfortunate. Over the last decade, most new rental demand has come from higher-income households. The number of renter households making $75,000 or more rose by 1.7 million from 2021 to 2024. Higher-income people flooding into the rental market because they also can't afford to buy drives up rents for everyone below them. The person making $40,000 a year competing for the same rental unit as the person making $90,000 a year who can't yet afford to buy is going to lose that competition every single time. The number of rental units priced below $1,400 a month declined by 9.3 million between 2014 and 2024. The number priced at $2,000 or more grew by 5.8 million. Affordable units are disappearing. Expensive units are multiplying. The bottom of the rental market is being hollowed out, while the top expands. And the households with the least financial cushion are being squeezed into a smaller and smaller set of increasingly unaffordable options. Between 2019 and 2025, average national property taxes rose 31%, and average monthly homeowner insurance premiums increased 72%. Even existing homeowners are feeling the cost pressure, but they're feeling it from a position that includes $299,000 in average equity, a fixed mortgage payment, and an asset that has historically appreciated over time. Homeowners may have fixed mortgage payments, giving them more stability over time. Renters face changing rent prices.
Because of this, renters often struggle to save money, making it harder to move into homeownership. The trap reinforces itself. This is where most personal finance videos on this topic just shrug and say, save more. That's not good enough. So let's be specific. 1. Stop treating rent as purely dead money and start treating it as buying time, but only if you're actually using the time. The renting is throwing money away framing is one of the most persistent and damaging myths in personal finance. Renting is cheaper on a monthly cash flow basis in most US markets right now. The question is what you do with the difference. Due to 6% interest rates and high transaction costs, it now takes 7 to 14 years for buying to become more profitable than renting. If your time horizon is under 5 years, renting is the clear financial winner. If you're renting and investing the monthly difference between your rent and what a mortgage would cost consistently in a diversified index fund, you are building wealth. If you're renting and spending the difference, you're not. That distinction is everything.
2. Target markets where the math actually works for buyers. The decision depends heavily on local price-to-rent ratios, with coastal hubs like San Jose favoring renters and Midwest cities like Chicago favoring buyers. The rent versus buy math isn't the same in every market. In some cities, Cleveland, Indianapolis, Memphis, Pittsburgh, buying still makes financial sense even at current rates because prices are low enough relative to rents that the monthly cost of ownership is competitive. If homeownership is your goal, geography is a legitimate lever that most people treat as off the table when it shouldn't be.
3. Build the down payment like it's your actual job, because right now, it is. Every month you delay building your down payment is a month where the same houses cost slightly more and your savings by slightly less. Automate a specific monthly transfer to a high-yield savings account earmarked exclusively for a down payment. Don't touch it. Don't combine it with your emergency fund. Treat it as a fixed cost in your monthly budget, the same way your rent is a fixed cost. And if your employer offers any form of matching contribution or benefit, a Trump account for a child, an HSA, a 401k match, capture every dollar of it before putting extra into the down payment fund. Here's the uncomfortable truth. The housing market in 2026 is not a meritocracy. The homeowner who locked in 3% in 2021 and the renter paying $2,100 a month today are not being rewarded and penalized according to how hard they worked or how responsible they've been. They're being separated by a timing gap and a structural system that was already tilted toward existing owners before rates doubled and made the gap nearly unbridgeable for most new buyers. From 2001 to 2024, renter incomes rose 9%. Rents rose 30%. That's not a personal failure. That's a structural reality that no amount of skipping avocado toast is going to fix. What you can fix is the portion that's within your control. Investing the monthly savings while renting, targeting markets where buying actually pencils out, and building the down payment with the same discipline you'd bring to anything else that matters. The gap is real, and you deserve to see its full size before you decide how to respond to it.